Have you ever been in a negotiation where it felt like a battle? Where you felt like you had to either fight for your way or give in completely? We often think negotiation is about winning, losing, or splitting everything right down the middle. But what if I told you that if you're asking who's winning, you've already lost? Today, we're diving into the groundbreaking book Getting to Yes by William Ury and Roger Fisher, the founders of the Harvard Negotiation Project. This book completely changed my perspective on what negotiation truly is, and I'm going to share the key lessons that will transform you into a master negotiator. Let's start with a few stories. Imagine two men arguing in a library. One wants the window open for fresh air. The other wants it closed to stop the wind from blowing his papers. What's the solution? Leave it half open? That's a compromise where nobody's really happy. Instead, a clever librarian comes over, listens to both, and then opens a window in the next room. This brings in fresh air without creating a draft. Both men are completely satisfied. Here's another one. Two people need to share a cake, but they can't agree on how to divide it fairly. No matter how it's cut, one will always suspect the other got a bigger slice. The solution? Ask one person to cut the cake, and let the other person choose their piece first. The person cutting, knowing the other gets first pick, will make the cut as perfectly even as possible. Genius, right? One last example. Two kids are fighting over a single orange. Their parent, trying to be fair, takes a knife, cuts the orange exactly in half, and gives a piece to each child. What happens next is surprising. One child eats the fruit and throws away the peel. The other child takes their half, scrapes off the peel to use in a cake, and throws the fruit in the trash. If the parent had just asked why they wanted the orange, both kids could have gotten 100% of what they needed. Instead, they only got 50%. As you can see from these examples, real negotiation isn't about winning or losing. It's about finding a creative solution that makes both sides happy and preserves the relationship. So, how do you find these wise, practical solutions? The book lays out a simple, 4-step framework. Step number 1. Focus on interests, not positions. Remember the two men in the library? Their positions were window open and window closed. But their underlying interests were fresh air and no draft. People often get stuck arguing about their positions, which are usually opposites. To break the deadlock, you need to shift your focus to the underlying interests. Now, this can be tricky. Positions are obvious, but interests can be hidden. The best way to uncover them is to simply ask why. Why do they want what they want? Try to genuinely see the situation from their perspective. When you show that you understand their needs, they become much more willing to listen to yours. So start by demonstrating that you understand them. Then clearly communicate your own interests. A great way to frame this is to ask yourself, if they agree with me tomorrow, what do I want them to actually do? Step number 2. Use fair, objective standards. No matter how well you understand each other's interests, conflicts will arise. You want lower rent, your landlord wants it higher. Instead of a tug-of-war based on willpower, turn to objective criteria. Think back to the cake example. The one cuts, the other chooses rule is a fair standard that both sides can agree on. Objective criteria are impartial rules like market prices, legal requirements, or expert opinions. When you base the discussion on these standards, it's no longer about you versus them. It's about both of you trying to find a fair outcome based on the facts. For instance, if you're negotiating a construction contract and disagree on the foundation depth, don't just argue. Say something like, let's check the official government building codes for this type of soil. What do the standards say? This shifts the focus from your demand to a neutral authority. The best approach is to agree on these fair standards together at the very beginning of the negotiation. Step number 3. Invent options for mutual gain. This is where the magic happens. Remember the kids and the orange? They missed a huge opportunity because they didn't explore creative options. Instead of assuming there's only one pie to be divided, your job is to find ways to make the pie bigger for everyone. How do you do that? Brainstorm. Get together with your side, or even better, with the other party, and just let ideas flow. The key here is to separate the act of inventing ideas from the act of judging them. In the beginning, no idea is a bad idea. Just throw everything out there. After you have a long list of possibilities, then you can start evaluating them and refining the most promising ones. Many people think differences create problems in a negotiation, but it's the opposite. Your differences are the key to finding creative solutions. In the orange story, a wise solution was possible precisely because the kids wanted different parts of the orange. One wanted the fruit, the other wanted the peel. Your differences in priorities, beliefs, and values are not obstacles. They are the raw materials for a mutually beneficial agreement. Step number 4. Separate the people from the problem. This might be the most important step of all. Before any negotiation, imagine a line drawn right down the middle. On one side, you have the person. On the other side, you have the problem. Your goal is simple. Be soft on the person, but hard on the problem. Too often, we get this wrong. We're so focused on being nice to the person that we end up being soft on the problem and don't get what we need. Or we're so tough on the problem that we become tough on the person, damaging the relationship. You have to do both. Be respectful, kind, and appreciative of the person, while being firm, clear, and persistent about solving the problem. At every stage, ask yourself, am I paying enough attention to the people issues? Remember, negotiators are people first. They have egos, emotions, and different perspectives. They might misunderstand you, and you might misunderstand them. Building a personal relationship before the negotiation even begins is one of the most powerful things you can do. Arrive a few minutes early to chat. Get to know them as a person. Studies show that simply getting to know the other side can increase your chances of success by up to 30%. Okay, so these 4 steps sound great in theory. But what happens when the other side doesn't play fair? What if they use dirty tricks, are more powerful, or attack you personally? First, let's talk about dirty tactics. People might lie, use psychological pressure, or play good cop, bad cop. The best way to neutralize these tricks is to recognize them and call them out. Politely. For example, you could say, "It seems like you two are playing a good cop, bad cop routine. If you need a moment to get on the same page, feel free." Simply naming the tactic makes it less effective. The key is to address the tactic, not attack the person. What if they're more powerful? If they have all the leverage, turning the negotiation into a power struggle is a losing game. Your greatest source of power isn't fighting back. It's your ability to walk away. This is where your BATNA comes in. BATNA stands for Best Alternative to a Negotiated Agreement. Think about it. Imagine going to a job interview with no other offers. You have very little power to negotiate salary. Now, imagine walking into that same interview with 2 other great job offers in your pocket. That's power. Your BATNA is your walk-away plan. Before you ever start negotiating, you must know exactly what you'll do if you can't reach an agreement. Developing your BATNA isn't just a backup plan. It gives you the confidence to negotiate for what you truly deserve. Finally, what if they attack you personally? When someone attacks your ideas or your character, the natural instinct is to defend yourself or attack back. This leads nowhere. Instead of pushing back, sidestep their attack using what the book calls negotiation jujitsu. First, when they state their position, don't accept or reject it. Instead, look behind it. Ask them why they want that. Treat their position as a clue to their underlying interests. Second, if they reject all of your proposals, ask for their advice. Say, "If you were in my shoes, what would you do?" This forces them to see the problem from your side. And third, invite criticism of your ideas. Instead of defending your proposal, ask them what's wrong with it. This helps you understand their concerns and shows that you're focused on finding a workable solution, not just winning an argument. I want to close with a story that perfectly captures the true spirit of negotiation. In 1964, an American father and his 12-year-old son were in London's Hyde Park, tossing a frisbee. Back then, hardly anyone in England had seen a frisbee, and a small crowd gathered to watch. After a while, an Englishman approached them and said, "Excuse me, I've been watching you for 15 minutes. Who's winning?" In a negotiation, asking who's winning is like asking who's winning in a marriage. If that's your focus, you've already missed the entire point. The real goal is to work together to find a solution that satisfies everyone's interests. It's about collaboration, not combat. I hope this has been as eye-opening for you as it was for me. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please consider liking and subscribing for more content like this. See you in the next one.